me, I am excited. Like, not just that, but movies I haven't seen yet. I'm kind of excited because I'm about to talk about a movie I bought on Blu-ray, never saw before, and now I just gotta talk about it. And it's Neil Marshall's 2002 debut film, Dog Soldiers. It's a movie that was recommended to me quite often. Little confession here. Werewolves are my favorite monsters, alright? Bar none. Like, I love werewolves. Like, when I was 9 years old, I was the Wolfman for Halloween. And it wasn't like a cheap mask. Like, we went all out. We got the prosthetics. Little word of warning, kids. If you're 9 years old and you want to be a werewolf, do not get the prosthetics. Because they hurt to get off. And with that, like, of course, I own the Wolfman. That's what I own. And for the Underworld series, I usually root for the werewolves because they're awesome. And their backstory is just much more interesting. With that, I must confess, until recently, I never really had that many werewolf movies. Like, fuck, I got more vampire movies than I do werewolf movies. That's kind of sad. So, what is Dog Soldiers? Well, it is as I said, it is the directorial debut of Neil Marshall, who you probably know better as the director of The Descent and the recent Hellboy reboot. And it is a film about a group of soldiers who go into the Highlands of Scotland, and they come across, during a training exercise, a pack of werewolves, and they're getting picked off one by one. And they come across a special ops soldier who the main character knows, and they have to work together along with this woman in the cabin in the woods to fend off these pack of werewolves. And holy shit, is this a good time. Like, this is a good time. If you're wondering also why I'm wearing a Predator shirt while talking about werewolves, well, that's because I was getting a lot of Predator vibes from this movie. Like, I watched the special features, the special documentaries for this, and Neil Marshall said, soldiers versus werewolves. That was his pitch, and it was sold. I was watching this just going, this is Predator. This is Predator with werewolves, and it's actually a good comparison. Like, this is not in any way a negative to this movie, to that movie, to compare it to Predator. This is like a comparison that's actually that actually is a positive, that actually benefits for this movie. Like, there are some things about it that are, Predator. A group of soldiers go down into a wooded area, a forested area. In this case, it's a training exercise. A Predator, of course, it was a rescue mission. They have the help of a special ops soldier who was using them for his own means. They have to fight off a supernatural or extraterrestrial creature that is killing them. And the monster you don't really see until about maybe 30 minutes in. Yeah, 30 minutes in. About 30 minutes in. And the characters are likable. You really do kind of know who... Well, in this one, they're not as, like... They don't stand out as much as, say, like Billy or Blaine or Hawkins or Poncho. They don't stand out like them. But you like them. For most of the characters, you like them. You're rooting for them. You want them to make it out. You know most of them aren't. and you do feel something when they do get killed. The main character in this is a Scotsman named Cooper who knows the special ops agent, because he tried at the beginning of the movie. He tries to join, but because he has a fucking conscience when it comes to dogs, he fails, and so he's stuck with his unit, which is led by Sean Pertwee, who Whovians know as the son of the Third Doctor, and also Alfred from Gotham. And dear God, is he really good in this? Like, he is awesome in this movie. Like, he is a hard ass in this movie, and like he gets some good scenes. And Cooper is played by Kevin McKidd, who, as a lot of people will probably know him from Modern Warfare, the Call of Duty Modern Warfare games. He's Soap. He's fucking Soap in 2 and 3. Like, I'm like, who is that guy? That voice sounds familiar, and I had to look it up, and it's like, oh shit, it's Soap. It's like, and I could hear him. I could see the mohawk. I then realized that was him. He's like, he plays off as a really good lead. And then you have Liam Cunningham, as some people would probably know as Sir Davos from Game of Thrones. And he plays the evil special ops soldier. Yeah, Sir Davos is a bastard in this movie. Like I was just like, dear God, like that. It's a credit to his acting, how good of an actor he is, because you just know him as this kind, honorable man for the most part. But then you see this movie, and you go, holy shit, is he a fucking piece of shit? He is a piece of shit. And of course, he becomes a werewolf. And really kind of one of the better performances I've seen in this movie is by Emily Cleansby, who plays this zoologist that actually has kind of a secret, but you kind of figure it out after a bit. You kind of realize, oh, okay, it's one of those twists, like you feel like just kind of pops out of nowhere, but at the same, but you call it pretty early. But she does give a good performance. Like, and I tried looking her up. I couldn't find anything else on her. Like, I could not find anything else on her filmography, what she's up to, nothing. Like, there's nothing else about her that I find, and I'm like, man, I really hope she's doing more, because she is good in this movie. Like, you can tell, like, you can see kind of her desperation and how hardened she is at the same time. One of the surprises of this movie I was not expecting, this is something I really, really love, is that it's got grain to it. Like, this is a Blu-ray, and the thing is about a lot of Blu-rays, like especially Disney, I don't know why they do this, is that they take a movie that has a lot of grain to it, and they clean it up to the point where you can you see the makeup, or the lines that were originally there are gone. Here, they keep that. They keep the grain. They keep what makes this movie unique and interesting and cool. Like, it is shot like an 80s movie, like a 90s movie. It is shot like that, and they keep that grain in there. They keep what makes it cool to look at, what makes it interesting, what makes it unique. Because at this point, movies like that were kind of fading out. So seeing that was something I really appreciated. I really missed having grainy, dirty looking movies. And And it just, like, for the most part, it just kept my attention, kept me enthralled, because I'm going, okay, you know this is going to be a dirty movie. You know this is going to be intense to watch when they decide to keep the grain. And knowing Neil Marshall, having seen his other stuff, even his episodes of Game of Thrones, which are some of the best, it's gonna be bloody. It's gonna be bloody, it's gonna be violent, it's gonna be unapologetic in it, and it does a really good job. It does a really good job in showing how, like, showing the werewolves disemboweling or ripping apart these guys without showing the werewolves. One thing about Neil Marshall is that he's not just a really good horror director, he's an awesome action movie director. Like, the action scenes in this are really, like, well paced, well shot. This was edited by Neil Marshall, and you can respect a director who can take the editing because he knows what he wants. It's the same thing like The Raid, not just directed by Gareth Evans, but also edited. And that's something I like. Like, I understand you're going to need an editor. I get that, because some directors are not great at editing. Me, I like to direct and I like to edit. Because it does give me a sense of control, and I totally 100% understand why Neil Marshall would do that. And you see it here. There's enough lighting in this, because it's a pretty dark movie, but there's enough lighting. You know what's going on. You know what's happening. It's not like a lot of other movies. There's no real shaky cam. There's no quick cuts of 5 different angles of the same damn movement. It's, here's a shot, cut, another shot, cut. But it's not, but it gives you time to see it. That is something that is sorely missed in action movies. Like, you have to watch, honestly, you'd have to watch a comic book movie in order to see that. Alright? You're not going to get it in a lot of action movies today, particularly PG-13 movies, but, I mean, that's something different. Alright, let's get to the main attraction of this movie, the werewolves. As I said, I love werewolves, and there are many different designs in cinema of werewolves. Of course, my favorite being the Wolfman, but there are others. There has become more of the more anthropomorphic canine variety, where they're 7 to 8 feet tall and are covered in fur. Those are becoming more the standard versions, which I do like. I think those are much more intimidating. There is more of a transformation with them. They do look more beast than man, and so I do like that design. And this is no exception. This one, they got like 6'5" tall dancers, had them wear stilts, and they're wearing these very tight suits that don't really have a lot of fur on their bodies, and more fur on top. Like Neil Marshall wanted them to be less like brutes and more like graceful hunters. Like, there was a certain swiftness to how they moved, how they attacked, and it's like, you know, kind of like an actual wolf, very lean. And I like the design. What little you see of the werewolves, I do like. I think they are terrifying. They are intimidating. They are deadly, and we get that. Like, I think, like, the designs remind me of The Howling, just with less fur. One other tidbit that I appreciate is when they do, like, camera work from the point of view of the werewolves, it's completely black and white. Like, you know, like as animals mostly are colorblind, they are meant to, I mean, I do like that detail. That's what I love about this, is the amount of detail they try to put into the lore, into the traits of these beasts, is treating them like they're actual animals and not just monsters. Now, of course, you have that they're impervious to bullets or anything that isn't silver. You have that. Of course, they could easily get killed from a fucking explosion, but what the fuck could survive that? Yeah, no, I like the monsters in this. The werewolves are really, really fucking awesome in this. This is one of those where on a decent enough budget, these werewolves really, really stand out. These are like kind of going back to the Predator comparison. Honestly, how the werewolves are done, how they're made, how the suits were made, what they had to get, the kind of people they had to get to be able to play them, also reminds me of Aliens. If I want to be honest here, like it's even that, like I give it a Predator comparison. I would have to also give it an Aliens comparison. I mean, the stories are very much similar. But I mean, but again, that's not a bad thing. That really isn't. It is meant to be a positive, because this movie is enjoyable. It's I wouldn't say it's terrifying, but it is a good time you're gonna have. Grab some popcorn, grab some friends, crack open a cold one, sit down and watch Dog Soldiers. I do recommend this movie. So what do I give Dog Soldiers? Well, I would have to say I would give Dog Soldiers a very hairy, scary 8 out of 10. This movie is a lot of fun. I really do enjoy it. Yeah, sure, one of the plot twists is questionable, if not just out of nowhere. But with the werewolf designs, the likable characters, and the all-out gore, you're gonna have a good time with this movie. All right? Check it out. I do recommend it. Well, guys, that's it for me. If you like this video, please let me know in the comments below. Hit that like and the subscribe button. And remember, I will be doing the Packy One Chip Challenge at the end of the year if I reach 100 subscribers. I'm Adam the OcCULTURE Critic. I get scared because I don't care. And I better check the calendar, because I'm seeing a lot of hair grow on my body, and I'm getting a very strange hankering for raw meat. That just may be me anyway. Bye.